As the threat of Hurricane Floyd launched Florida into a state of emergency, Bellsouth Mobility was there. Throughout the ordeal, news reports alerted viewers of the potential danger posed by this massive hurricane.
This is a 7 News special edition, tracking Hurricane Floyd.
Bellsouth Mobility has asked us to pass along.
Edición especial de una hora de Telemundo Noticiero 51 a las 6 comienza ahora.
Bellsouth, entre otras instituciones, ha repartido ya varios partes de prensa.
Con el servicio de Bellsouth le da toda la información sobre el tráfico y el tránsito en los 3 condados.
Folks want to make sure their cell phones are charged, because if your phone is not charged, it does you no good.
During the storm, you may need to use your cell phone, but there are some guidelines you'll need to follow. Dennis McGraw with Bellsouth Mobility is with us on the phone. Is that a cell phone this morning, Dennis?
It sure is.
Okay, what do we need to know about using our cell phone during a situation like this?
Well, the basic thing we're encouraging cell phone users to do is to keep their batteries charged.
We have some numbers that we'd like to show you right now on the screen. So if you have any concerns, any questions, feel free to call.
Hurricane Floyd was a test of Bellsouth Mobility's ability to work together as a team, and we accomplished that using our Disaster Preparedness Business Continuity Plan. Because Bellsouth Mobility is the designated state carrier for wireless service to the state of Florida and other emergency agencies, it's essential that we remember our 2 main priorities. Number 1, the safety of our employees, and number 2, our commitment of service to these organizations and our customers.
Well, it's been just a couple of weeks since Hurricane Floyd passed us. First reaction is we're incredibly thankful that each and every one of us and our families are safe. The second reaction is one of enormous pride for the way that you and your peers performed in the face of an incredible emergency and a state of enormous uncertainty. We've had the public, we've had customers call and write to thank us for the service that we have provided and for the sense of comfort, for the sense of assurance that we and our wireless phones provided they and their families, that they would stay connected through the world in this time of emergency. And I want to personally thank you and want to personally express the pride that I share with you for the job that you've done during Hurricane Floyd.
Hi, my name is Tony Carper. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Broward County, Florida. I've always felt that the backbone to successful emergency operations is effective and reliable emergency communications. Bellsouth Mobility provides us that during activations of the Broward County Emergency Operations Center. Specifically, we have a special arrangement with Bellsouth Mobility which allows us to activate 150 emergency accounts. These are for emergency responders, damage assessment teams, and other persons to communicate information back to the EOC. Bellsouth Mobility is an effective partner in providing and supplying our emergency communications needs.
Hi, my name is Chip Patterson. I'm the Director of the City of Jacksonville Emergency Operations Center. And I wanted to take this opportunity to be able to thank Bellsouth Mobility, thank you, the employees of Bellsouth Mobility, for all the work that you did during Hurricane Floyd. And while that's the most visible, I know that you're there all the time providing communications for our community. It's such a vital part of our preparedness and response and recovery in any disaster. And I want to thank you. Thank you for the work that you did, the many hours that you put in, and we certainly want to recognize you. Thank you very much.
Let me just walk you through how we addressed this emergency for each location. First of all, the key inputs were from the local management on the ground. In Boca, that would have been Dan Norman and Don Riddell and Judy Sawyer and other members of their team. In the Beaches area, it would have been Gary Bonner. In Jacksonville, it would have been Jim Bugel, because they were there, they were on the ground. Obviously, we also considered the inputs from the National Hurricane Center and from the EOCs, as well as other public agencies. In every case, considering first the safety of our employees, but importantly also our obligation to serve our customers and the public at large. There were a number of conferences and calls, 3 and 4 a day, sometimes late at evening, sometimes early in the morning, exactly as it should have been. When we had updates on the hurricane and its estimated path and movements, When we had a better understanding of a change in conditions, then we relied on those local managers and the media and the weather forecast to make the best decision.
Bellsouth Mobility employees, it's my pleasure to spend some time with you today. I'm Dr. Bob Sheets, former director of the National Hurricane Center, now with the Florida News Network and ABC Television. As the hurricane was moving toward the west-northwest on Monday, if you took it on a straight line, it would come into South Florida. However, almost all of our models said the storm was going to turn before it actually reached the coast, and it was going to head north and probably strike up somewhere in the North Carolina or South Carolina area. We have to understand that this was a very large hurricane. At this stage, it was as strong as Hurricane Andrew and quite a bit larger. In fact, the core region of this hurricane, you could have fit 2 or 3 Andrews inside of those, where the strongest part of the hurricane was located. We had the experiences of Hurricane Andrew in South Florida. Many of us lived through that. And one of the things that we relied on was the mobile phones, the cellular phones. In fact, we at the Hurricane Center, we had some come in and we distributed those with our employees. Those are very important during major disasters like this potential storm was to bring up and down our East Coast. I'd like to close by thanking the Bellsouth Mobility employees for being there when people need them. If this storm had moved along our East Coast, just as Hurricane Andrew moved over South Florida, it would have been you that would have been providing the vital information for people to be able to get through that disastrous situation. Thanks again for your work.
Having made the decision that we believe best for our associates, for our customers, and for the public at large, ultimately we had to and did empower each associate to make the best decision that he or she believed right for themselves or for their family.
As the storm was approaching Florida, employees were encouraged to use vacation or optional days to prepare their homes and families. However, once the decision was made to close operations, employees were paid as normal for their scheduled shifts.
I would like to take a moment to thank Bellsouth Mobility and all of its fine employees for being there for the Miami-Dade community during our recent brush with Hurricane Floyd, as well as with all the other hurricanes of the past. Bellsouth Mobility provides a vital communication link before, during, and of course after storms. Even as most other businesses are shutting down for dangerous storms, the dedicated people of Bellsouth Mobility are gearing up to keep the lines of communications open. So on behalf of all of our citizens and Miami-Dade government, I want to thank you for your professionalism and for all of your courage. Thank you.
During this statewide crisis, the Hurricane Hotline was set up to provide employees with up-to-date communications about call center and store closings and other important information. Bellsouth Mobility is always striving to improve communications with its employees.
Though we had a fair amount of communications and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from our employees on our Hurricane Hotline and other forms of communications, we've also had some feedback that there would be a desire for more and for earlier communication. We think that's on target feedback, and that's being worked into our plans if we ever have a similar event.
Greetings to all Bellsouth Mobility employees. Saludos a los empleados de Bellsouth Mobility. I learned a lot from the Hurricane Floyd experience. A fail-safe communication plan is a vital part of a good disaster plan. It's reassuring to know that we had dependable, disaster-ready support from Bellsouth Mobility. Bellsouth Mobility's commitment as official disaster communications provider to state and local governments is a key element of our overall preparation. My role as a communicator during the press briefings reminded me that our cellular communications cannot be allowed to fail. If we face another potential natural disaster, I know we will continue to work together. Again, thank you.
Hello. My name is Christian Smith with the American Red Cross, and I would like to take a moment to tell you just how important Bellsouth Mobility is to the American Red Cross. During Hurricane Floyd, each and every one of you played a significant role in helping us to provide the much-needed services all throughout the state of Florida. Because of you, because of your hard work, and because Bellsouth Mobility provided us with that ultimate link of communication, we were able to open more than 220 shelters. We were able to house more than 70,000 people throughout the state of Florida. Each and every day, you make a commitment to your organization. Your commitment to your organization ultimately helps the American Red Cross in times of disasters. Hurricane Floyd was devastating. Hurricane Floyd continues to be devastating. But in the communities right here in the state of Florida, Bellsouth Mobility made a difference for the American Red Cross. And on behalf of the American Red Cross,
thank you, Bellsouth Mobility.
In the next couple of days, we'll be placing on our website a vehicle for you to provide your input to me and the rest of our Florida leadership team, either on things that you believe we could do better or differently as we face in the future similar emergencies. And I want to encourage each of you to take that opportunity so that we can learn and perform even better if and when we have a similar situation. Thank you.